When I first come down here from Canada to go to university, I thought that this country out here was awful. I thought it was dry and dreary and desolate, and today you couldn't get me out of here with an atom bomb. There's something that's magnetic about it that draws you here and keeps you here. I've spent my life putting this piece of ground together. It started out as a little piece, 40 acres, and then 280 acres, then 4,000 acres, and then 8,000 acres. Now it's up to somewhere around 30,000 acres. I love the outdoors, I love ranching, I love cattle. People have often thought that jumping cow is a strange name. The history of it is we had a cow that we couldn't keep in the pen, and I'd put her in, she'd be with her calf, and then she'd jump over and she'd sit there and wait for you to come and put her back in. One day it just irritated me so much that I went to my wife and I said, "Where's my rifle? I'm going to shoot that damn cow." There was a neighbor lady that was a good friend of my wife's there, and she come back the next day with a little needle-pointed cow with a little ribbon on it. On the top she said, "Jumping Cow Ranch," and I thought, that works for me. I think a large block of land that's contiguous, there's something seductive about it. I call it the John Wayne syndrome, that sense that you've got room to do things. One of the things that surprised most people is the diversity of the thing. This ranch, as you go across it, you will see different environments, you'll see different critters, and relatively little of it has ever been farmed. Almost all of it is native grass, as the pioneers saw. The problem we have here is this land is too close to Denver. It's too expensive to just raise cattle on it. So you have to find ways to generate cash flow. Well, I look at land as a bundle of sticks, and some of those sticks might be recreational value, value of the water, the agricultural values, obviously, hunting, and particularly the development rights. Originally, I took part of the ranch and developed it into 60-acre lots and sold them. As time went on, I've become increasingly dissatisfied with the outcome. It just didn't seem to be a good utility of the resources, the land, the water. So we decided to explore different ways to generate some cash flow from the property. That was the reason we started exploring these conservation easements. What you're doing when you put a conservation easement on is you're moving forward the cash flow for your development rights. Basically what they're doing is buying your development rights forevermore. We found it a much more desirable way to move forward and still have the use of the land. The other thing, it was the learning experience. It was very interesting when Nature's Conservancy would bring out some of their specialists. We'd go down into a mud hole and one of them would bring out a frog and would be very excited about it. And you know, I'd always thought of the frog as bait. There was a bird watcher that was with them, and he counted 22 birds in this one spot. And when they talked about birds I'd never heard the name of before. Each time I went out, we saw something new, and I learned something. One of the things that amazed the Nature Conservancy, they said, "Grant, before we can go to funding, we have to get some letters from people that know you." I said, "Give me 24 hours." So I called 4 or 5 different neighbors, and I said, "Here's what I'm going to do." And they were puzzled. And I said, "Look, here's the choice. Either I do this, or I'm going to cut it all up into 60-acre lots." The letters were there in the morning. The neighbors don't want this developed either. They like the big spaces. They know that once a ranch is broken into smaller pieces, it's forever. It never becomes a ranch again. It will take work to get people comfortable with the idea of it. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about the nature of easements. Over time, and it didn't happen overnight, I become more comfortable. We negotiated a conservation easement. The Nature Conservancy got it funded. I got a little bit of money, and I've got a lot of peace of mind. So I think it works fine. I'm very comfortable with it, and I think we've done the right thing. The sky isn't any bluer, the birds don't fly any faster. All I know is that this land will be this way for forever, and that has value.